Greetings, fellow Decepticons. Megatron1384 here with a follow-up on my review of Pacific Rim. I felt that the first review, first of all, it was done at like 5:30, 5 in the morning, a little bit to drink as well. And so I felt that I needed to do a follow-up on it because I was looking back at it, I was kind of just overly praising and didn't really get to go into some of the finer points of the movie. And seeing it twice now, I feel that I have a better opportunity to do that. Spoilers still in effect here, so yeah, let's get right into it. I still really like the movie. I still like it pretty much as I did in the review that I put out in the morning. A lot of the criticisms about the movie, I mean, the critics are either really liking it and saying it's just a lot of fun, or people are saying that it's, dumb and, a lot of the classical things that happen with, like, poor screenwriting and, lack of character developments and things of that nature. Well, again, as I said before, if you've ever watched a kaiju movie, a giant monster movie like Godzilla, Gamera, stuff like that, this is actually still, this is very much in line with it. Frankly, to a certain extent, I would say that actually this script is probably better than most of those. Because a lot of times in those, you have these really random character development struggles and very undefined backgrounds to characters and emotional hang-ups that we never really see anything about. At least in this movie, we see everybody's hang-ups, their personal, shortcomings and whatnot. The main character, Riley, he was plugged in with his brother when he died, so he has all that swirling around his head, and that's gonna screw with somebody. One, the death of your brother, next to you, and that you're psychically linked with him at the same time, that's going to screw with you, and yeah, so I totally would understand that. Miss Mori, we see that, we see, she was in Tokyo during one of the early days of it back during the Mark I times, and her parents died and all of that, and it just all about his relationship with her is clearly shown from that. Well, not necessarily clearly shown, but presumably he took her in, raised her, and saying, on the brand, was promising that someday you'll get your revenge. This movie is very much a love letter to the kaiju genre, and it fits right in there. Like, you could slap that into the fold at anywhere in the genre's existence since, like, the original Godzilla was 1954, maybe, there's something even before that. You can slap it anywhere in there, and it's gonna fit in just fine. So I think that a lot of the criticisms about it, because I've been seeing a lot of people and hearing a lot of people negatively saying, well, it didn't, ascend. It didn't, make the genre ascend to some new, higher, more mainstream, broader appeal basis. And it's like, but it's not supposed to be. Guillermo at no point is said at any point that that's what he was trying to do. He said he wanted to make a giant monster movie, and he made a goddamn giant monster movie. It's no different than than any of the other ones, really, that I know of, and I've watched almost all of them. It's just the best looking one. And that's fine. That's fine. And, there's a lot of smaller critiques out there, and, like, a common thing that, like, me and a lot of my friends we've been saying is that, during the big action set piece at the end of Act 2 in Hong Kong, with the two kaiju, and then all four of the Jaegers going out at some point in there. That, with Gypsy Danger fighting the, why didn't they use that sword that they clearly had earlier? And, why was Riley surprised that, oh, we have a sword? Because Mori knows, and they're linked together, so he should know that. But, yeah, legitimately, yeah, it doesn't necessarily make sense that you'd drag an oil tanker that would never be able to work that way, and that if you tried to swing it, it would probably just snap in half anyway. And instead of doing that, they should have just led with the sword. Yeah, but where's the fun in that? I mean, it was a cool moment for them to be like, a sword, where stratosphere or whatever, and just pulls it out and cuts the damn things, wing off, and they just go both plummeting down and whatnot. It's like, that's a cool moment, and it's a cool, badass, yeah, fist pump kind of moment. So, whatever, it doesn't have to be sound logic all the damn time. Most of these movies never are. I mean, for Godzilla movies, I have a drinking game, and one of the major rules is bullshit science. So, it's no different than a lot of the other movies in the genre, and it fits right in there. So I think that a lot of people's criticisms are misplaced. You have to take the genre with a pinch of salt. You don't go into a giant monster movie looking for high art and drama and, good character performances. No, you go in for the action and a, basic plot, built around that action so that there's an actual reason we're watching this. It's not just, like a video game or a monster fight snuff film. And, it was serviceable, like Independence Day. And like I said before, right down to the aliens with the exact same motivation of going planet to planet, consuming all their natural resources, then moving on to the next one. How would they do that? Do they always do this interdimensional rift thing and giant monsters and whatnot? Who knows? But, it doesn't really matter. Their motivations don't have to matter, in my opinion. There's so much of movies of more obscure genres like the comic book movies or video game movies, and now a giant monster movie like we've seen like with Cloverfield, they really try to become this more realistic, edgy, brooding, kind of high drama stuff, and it's dark and serious, and that's fine sometimes, but sometimes I want to shut my goddamn brain off and just enjoy it. Just enjoy, like I said before, pure visual stimulus. And this movie gives me that. It's not a great movie. It's a serviceable movie with really fun action, and it fits right in with the rest of the monster movie. And as a fan of monster movies, I will call it this, schlock. A Godzilla movie is schlock. It is. I mean, it's no different than watching a Friday the 13th movie or Nightmare on Elm Street movie. The only difference is it's on a much bigger scale. But it's the same concept. It's the same things. There's not really a whole lot of difference between them necessarily. And I think that this movie works very well at that. So I think that a lot of the criticism people throw out there and slate against it are misguided or unfounded. So that's my feeling on it anyway. So yeah, I hope that this helps or is a good follow-up to my first one. A little bit more coherent, just a little bit maybe. So yeah, that's it for this one, and we'll see you guys next time.